Hey, Jason.
That's me, Jason. And Deborah, how's it going?
It's good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the interview.
No problem. Deborah Bonham, real pleasure to have you here. Broadcasting on these online world internet, I guess. I mean, life's changed, I'm
This is all
sure.
new for me.
Yeah, and it's not radio interviews with phone interviews anymore. It's like Zoom and
I
in-person
know.
interviews. So how's life with you these days?
It, it's good. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's great to be back out playing, and we've got the album happening, and yeah, things are really good. So just getting excited about it all. Really, we're off on UK and Europe tour on starting 6th of April, and we've got the album coming out on April 25th, 29th, single on March 25th. So yeah, I'm good. It's been a while of sitting back and growing vegetables and walking the dogs and looking after horses during the pandemic. So it's like, yeah, come on, let's do it.
Basically, when you make a debut album, it's like it's special because what's coming next in the future is like
Yes, yeah,
something else. So this is the first one, for the group. How long did it take you to get the ideas, to find the right songs and make this album?
It wasn't that long, really. I mean, the time that it's taken has been caught up with the pandemic, so that sort of put a stop to everything. But once we got to a part in our relationship as a band, I guess, that I really wanted it to focus more on the band and not just me, or just being Deborah Bonham. I mean, Pete Bulick, the guitarist, and he's my husband as well. We've been together through 32 years. So, it's been a long time coming. And the band is so great. They got picked up by Paul Rogers to back him. And we did the UK Free Spirit tour, and then came over to America. And we came to Canada on the Stars Align tour with Paul and Jeff Beck and Ann Wilson. And that's where this album sort of started. We met Quarto Valley Records, who were fantastic, and we started talking about it. And I just said, I want to do a new project. I don't want to go back and bring the other albums out or start writing a new album. I really want to do a new project with the band, and I'd like it rooted in the blues.
Okay.
But not traditional, because that's not us. We're quite rocky as well, and I just wanted it to be real. I didn't want it to be some fake sort of, she's doing a traditional blues album and it's fake. It had to be organic. So that's where it started, and Quarto Valley were brilliant. They gave us complete artistic control. And it's the first record that I've produced completely on my own, because I thought, well, at the end of the day, after I've been working with this band with Pete for 30 years, and same with the bass player Ian Rowley, keyboard player Jared Lewis, I've been with him 22 years, and the drummer over 12 years. So I know what this band can do and where they can go and how far to push. And we know each other, so it just made sense. So the wheels started in motion then, I guess, in 2018.
Okay.
And then we came back over to America in 2019, and I did the East Coast, played at some really cool places. Where we played at the Cutting Room in New York, and Daryl Hall's place upstate, and Levon Helms in Woodstock. It was great. And then the idea was the album to come out in 2020. So we started recording late 2019. And then the pandemic hit. So it took a bit of a back seat, because there was no point then. It was, let's see where this is going to go. So we've sat on it for a couple of years. Saying that, then we remixed it and took it to Tim Oliver, this incredible engineer that mixed it for us at Peter Gabriel's studio, which was just a joy. And so we've sort of sat back, and so the wheels have been in motion since 2018, but it's just sort of happening now due to pandemic. But yeah, it's exciting.
And you mentioned Daryl Hall's place, in New York. I mean, that's a pretty happening spot to be playing.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, because
when I walked in there, I was just, because I'm a huge Hall & Oates fan. I think Daryl's got one of the best male soul voices. He's just incredible. And I saw him play. I saw Hall & Oates play years ago in the UK over here, and the PA broke down, and Daryl just carried on singing from the stage without a PA, and you could still hear him, and he sounded great. So yeah, it was a real joy to be there. So hopefully we'll be going back.
With everything opening up, it's the right time to release, and right time to go touring, so it is the route to go right now. And let me talk to you about your album. Like, the sound quality is smooth. It's like smooth guitar tones, smooth drums. Everything's very well done. The tonal balance, let's say, if it is, it's very well produced and very well, engineered. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Well, I can't take credit for the engineering and the mixing, but the engineering was a guy called David Evans, and another chap called Paul Burton, and that was at a studio not far from our house, an old chapel. And I think that's why we got such a great drum sound, because the chapel was just, it had this great vibe in there, and you can really get a lovely live sounding drum kit, And then Tim Oliver just did his magic, because, so many records get squashed and compressed to make it louder. And I just hate it. I like things to breathe, like back in the 60s and 70s, they weren't all squashed. Everything was breathing, and you can still play those records today, and they sound great. And that's how I wanted it to sound. And Tim he got it from the get-go. So I'm absolutely thrilled with the tonal sound and the way it's been recorded. Yeah.
Also, Deborah, let's say for picking and choosing like the right single to be released out of the whole catalog of the songs, how difficult was it to like just say, I'm gonna pick this one, the one that
really difficult. I had to walk away from that one. I had to see what Quarto Valley thought about it, because it's, when you've been in the recording studio and you've recorded 13 songs and you've really given it your all, and then you take it to be mixed, and you're working out how it's going to sound, and you're producing it, and you get so caught up in the whole of it. Not just one stands out, they all become your babies, so to speak. So I had to pass that one over to ask people, which one do you think should be the one? And they all came back. It was a few different ideas, but pretty much everybody sat with, can't you see what you're doing to me? And I said, well, cool, fine. That's, I don't mind which one you go with, really. I'm happy with them all.
What do you think of the music scene right now? Like, is it going to build again, is it opening in the UK? Like for
yes, or definitely. Yeah, here's pretty good. We all our restrictions have been dropped. That said, it doesn't mean to say COVID's gone. People are still getting it, but people aren't so much dying. There was a massive take-up of the vaccination here, so that very few people are getting seriously ill and dying. So people are living with it now, and we're all just doing what we can. We're being more sensible. I think we're all got this heightened awareness that, there is this disease out there, this virus rather, but we've just got to move on and live with it as best as we can. And so they've opened everything up here. And we've done a couple of festivals already, indoor ones. And I won't say I wasn't nervous, I thought about it. there was about 4,000 people at each one.
Right.
And that was capacity, full capacity. And I thought, wow, you know, this is going to be odd. You know, we're coming out of playing nowhere for 2 years, and we're going to go in a room with 4,000 people, and how's that going to work, you know? But it was so well done, and everybody was so careful, but they still, you know, enjoyed it. They were at the front. But you could see people weren't like absolutely squashing together, but it was great, and nobody got ill. There was no outbreak from those festivals. So I think because so many people have been vaccinated and are just generally being careful, that it has opened up. And so yeah, I think music is going to start. Certainly those festivals, it was like people had been locked up for 2 years and they just went mad. They went crazy. And we did too, because once we got on the stage, we hadn't been playing for all that time. So yeah, no, it was absolutely great. When we came off, we were all sort of absolutely buzzing, you know. It was fantastic. So yeah, I think it is all opening up. We start, as I say, we start touring 6th of April. So, and there's quite a lot of bands are now going out and playing. So yeah, it's good. Back at it, because it's so been missed.
How far are you going, and how long is it going to last, this tour?
Well, here we will go all over the UK, and then we're going to Europe, playing in France, Belgium, Netherlands. I think we're in Germany as well. So, and it's sort of spread out through the spring and summer, and then we're just really hoping we're sitting back just watching at the moment how the restrictions are going to be in the US and in Canada, because we've been meaning to come to Canada for a long time, and it's somewhere that we just love, you know. Right. And our dear friend Paul Rogers and his wife Cynthia Rogers, she was Miss Canada. She's just one of the best people out there. You know, she keeps saying, you know, you got to come and play Canada. So, you know, she's right on that case for us to come over there. Yeah. If not only just so that we can hang out for a bit, you know, me and her. So it would be great. So yeah, we're just watching to see how it goes. And I think at the moment, you know, there's so much going on right now in the world. We're just all sitting back thinking, okay, let's see how this is going to go with the current trouble we've got going on in Europe, you know, with the Ukraine. So it's pretty devastating. So, you know, everybody's just watching this space. But yeah, if it opens up, we'll be straight over there without a doubt.
And that'd be awesome. I mean, not just Canada, but, you know, the whole North America needs some, you know, new stuff coming in, you know. It's like tours and just to open up the scene, make everybody happy again. And
I think that's it. I think that's been a common thread through some of the interviews I've done, is that everybody wants to feel a bit of feel good again, you know. It just seems that it's one thing after the other, and you know, we just sort of start getting through this pandemic, and then there was all that upset with Afghanistan, and now we've got the Ukraine and Russia, and after a while it just feels like it just feels so sad for everybody's just feeling we just need some peace and love and some great music, you know. We just need it to get back to the Woodstock days, and you know, stop the war, get the peace going, play some cool music and chill out, you know. It's so yeah, I think everybody's feeling like that. Everybody just wants some peace, love and harmony, and great music. I sure do, you know.
We all do, I do believe. Deborah, let's say YouTube. I went looking at your YouTube channel the other day. What did I discover? There's some songs in English and French. The same.
Yeah.
Now that is interesting. Where did the idea come from? You know, for like Guide-moi, take me down and fly.
Well, because of playing in France, okay. And the French have always been so so wonderful to us as a band. You know, I've just absolutely loved playing in France, and I used to speak really good French, and then it started coming back whilst we started touring a lot. But my agent said to me, he said, you know, don't be too good. He said, because the people like you when they love you when you do the mistakes. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, they must really love me because I'm making loads of mistakes. So, but and I just started singing it in French one night. We were playing it and they were all enjoying it, and I sort of just started singing the song "Take Me Down" in French. And then I thought, you know what? Why don't I actually do this and record it in French as well? So it just came from the love of the people over there, really. You know, we've been so welcomed in France and Belgium and the whole of Europe. You know, it's great. You know, so I just wanted to give something back, so we did it in French.
So basically,
and it was great.
Maybe
I really enjoyed it.
Maybe in your childhood you went and learned French. Is there?
Yes.
You know, like a way that you just didn't go just rushing into French here.
No. I did French at school, and then French A level. I did it up till I was about 18, and at one point I was quite fluent.
Okay.
But then I didn't go to France then for years, and so you know I forgot a lot of it. But it's amazing when I get there. After I've been there a day or two, it starts to come back.
Right.
And it's just remembering the vocabulary, really. You know, I start getting a bit confused, so I might, you know, ask for I don't know, you know, I might get my words mixed up sometimes, and sometimes that can be, you know, embarrassing. But yeah, no, I learned French when I was young, so yeah, I didn't just suddenly go and try to speak it.
Okay. It's like that you wrote the lyrics and, you know, transcribe.
Oh, well, my agent's sister-in-law helped me with that.
Okay.
I wrote it very literally. She made it poetic in French. I couldn't do that. She made it poetic, which I couldn't do.
Well, it certainly worked out well. You know, it was impressive to see, because there's a lot of artists that wouldn't even go to that route because of time and energy, let's say. But, you know, to produce a video out of it, congratulations.
Thank you. It just made sense. As I say, they've always been so wonderful to us. So it was just paying it back a little bit, you know.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And, you know, do we see more stuff in French in the future? You know, maybe?
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, certainly, yeah. I mean, I love the French language. I mean, it is a beautiful language. Yeah, I just need a little help to make it that poetry. Other than that, it gets a bit franglais with me. You know, a bit French English, and it's a bit. So yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's great. You know, to go on other types of subjects too, like your nephew, Jason Bonham.
Yeah.
Do you get in contact with him often? I mean, he's
playing
with Sammy, you know.
Yeah, no, I love what he does with Sammy, you know, and I love Sammy. I had the absolute joy many years ago of getting up on stage with Van Halen and singing rock and roll, Led Zeppelin's Rock and Roll with Sammy, and not letting Eddie Van Halen do a guitar solo, which when I think about it makes me cringe, because in the end he got down on his knees in front of me and was going, let me do the solo. And I kept looking at him going, oh my God, it's Eddie Van Halen. And I sang another, it's been a long time, you know. And went, oh no. Pete was looking at me afterwards saying, my God, the bloke was desperate to play a guitar solo and you just sang right over him. But it was just sheer nerves, you know. I'd had a picture of Eddie Van Halen on my wall, you know, when I was a teenager. So there's me on the stage with him, and I'm like, oh my good grief, it's Eddie Van Halen, it's Sammy Hagar, you know. But what great guys, they were so lovely. And then when Jason started working with Sammy, Yeah, no, I think they're fantastic, fantastic band. And I mean, Jason's he's such a brilliant drummer. You know, he's a chip off the old block. So yeah. No. I mean, he's been on my records. We've toured together. When I was out, he lives in America, so I don't get to see him very often. The last time I saw him was 2018.
Okay.
He turned up. He came to the show when we were in Florida with Jeff Beck and Paul Rogers and Ann Wilson. So I haven't seen him then, other than on FaceTime, because I haven't been over there. So hopefully that will change in the next year. I'll get to see him again. Hopefully he'll come over here at some point. But yeah, he's busy. He's got his Led Zeppelin evening is really, he's got a whole load of tour dates out now. So he's going to be full on.
Yeah.
But our paths always cross, we'll suddenly just text each other in the middle of the night, or we're close, yeah.
It's like when you're at that level, though, being so busy, it's hard to even remember, I should have texted my aunt, or do something like that, because
he does text me. He goes, hello, Auntie Debbie.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. But you have to make time for each other. It's as simple as that, because you just don't know when that time's going to be gone. Right. So I think, if anything, the pandemic has taught us that, is that, we need time to stop and breathe. And I don't think many of us in the world was doing that before the pandemic. I think the pandemic just made us slow down a bit and think about it. I mean, I'm amazed about how quickly now it's all got back into that, trying to get everything done, trying to do this, do that, whereas during the pandemic, as it started to slow down, yeah, it was just taking that time to breathe and think about everything. And I think I'm trying to be aware of that now, trying to think, no, I need to speak to, one of my family members, or or a close friend I haven't spoken to in a long time, or even if I just drop a text or an email. I'm trying to do that more consciously now than possibly I did before, because I was on that hamster wheel quite a bit. Yeah.
It's like that too. The pandemic kind of made everything a blur, because it's like, what did I do in 2020? I don't really remember now, because everything's like just constantly the same. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It was. I mean, the shock of it was just so awful. But once I'd come to terms with that, and then we built an outside bar, and that really helped. Okay. We had our own little outside bar. That helped. But it's, if you think about it, it was such a crazy time in our life, in the world. I'm glad we're out of that. I'm glad we're back on track.
And not to return to that track, because that is not the way we want to be anymore.
Yeah, no, not one bit. So yeah.
And like, speaking of Jason being busy, let's go to your brother. How busy he was when he was on top. I mean, you've seen it from when you were young, and maybe viewed it differently, with John Bonham. How hectic was his career in your eyes?
I mean, really busy. Really, really busy. And then there was the, where they lived outside of the country for a year. And I think he found that really, really difficult, because he wasn't good at being away from home, So the touring, at least he got to play every night, which was what his love was, apart from his wife and kids and his family, he loved playing the drums, and he loved getting up on that stage with Led Zeppelin. So as much as it's hard when you're in a band and traveling, I mean, for us, it's not, because I'm with my husband, and the guys are like my family. So we're almost like a little traveling family, we are. that in itself, sometimes people say, crikey, how on earth do you, you know, husband and wife, 32 years you've been doing this, how did that work for you? You know, and yeah, there was some hairy moments, you know, some little there's been a few moments where it's all gone a bit skew whiffed, but on the whole, I couldn't do it if we weren't together, you know. And for John, he had to leave his family at home and go and play with the same as Robert and Jimmy and John Paul Jones. So, but at least, and I think he found that hard. He always found it hard leaving home to go off on tour, and they were long tours, you know, they were world tours. So he was gone a long time, and he always found that hard. But the good thing was he did get to play every night, and he loved that.
Right.
But when he moved out of the UK for a year, they did a sort of tax exile, and I think he found that really, really difficult. And I don't think that helped him at all. You know, it was that was a step too far. He was really glad to be home. You know, he loved his home. So yeah, his schedule was grueling. You know, I mean, a lot of those bands, you know, the Stones, Pink Floyd, all those, the Who, all those big bands. I mean, their touring schedules were just relentless. And that's you've really got to be dedicated to do that. And to be honest with you, to do that type of schedule, you've got to be quite young, because it is relentless. You wouldn't want to be doing that every single night when you get much older. You know, I think it was, yeah. I wonder if they'd be forgiven for not knowing what city they were waking up in. You know, because it was so fast paced.
Yeah.
But he loved it, and you know, when you're a musician, it's what you do. It's really what you do. So it comes with the territory, and that's that.
It's like basically you take one side or you take the other one. Is I'm going to be touring or staying at home and doing nothing. Yeah,
there you go. There you go. And I think when you're a young lad, you know, I mean, I've got to say, I still love it now. But that's because we all go together, and like when I tour the UK, I take my dogs with me as well. So it's sort of, you know, it's home from home a little bit. For John, you know, I think being a young man as well, it must have been incredibly exciting, you know, to suddenly you're in this band and then bang, you're out and you're touring the world to these massive audiences, you know. Yeah, I think he enjoyed it. It's only as he got older, I think it took its toll a bit. But yeah, I think for any young man, getting up on stage and playing what you love, making a living with what you love doing. I mean, how many people get to do that? It's quite a privilege.
It certainly is, and you know, kids today still buying the music, you know, and discovering the music. And
absolutely, it's crazy.
You know, it's awesome.
It's crazy. I know kids that have come up to me, and you know, they're 10 years old, and they've just learned, you know, discovered Led Zeppelin via their dads, via their grandfathers, and you know, and it's just it's that's a legacy. That's an amazing legacy.
Yeah, certainly when they start discovering and knowing the names of who's on that album, you know, and start knowing their names by heart. You know,
there you go.
They certainly did something great.
You know? Yeah, absolutely.
So everything's going great in your life. The tour's coming out, you know, in next month, basically, and you're going to be working with your whole family on stage, basically. Yeah. And the new album, gonna, you know, hopefully kick it off and do some good stuff. Do you foresee a promo video being done into this, you know, to promote?
Yes, we're working on that. We're working on that now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of happening now. So there'll be the promo should be ready pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, it's a busy old time, and it's great. As I say, it's just great to be back out doing what we love doing again, you know, because of the layoff time. It's just great to be back out. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited, really excited, and it's just great fun. I mean, we played in London the other night, and though I say it myself, you know, the band was on fire. It really was. And there was a moment I was just stood on stage and I sort of swung around and I forgot to sing, purely because I was just listening to the band play, and I was just loving it. I thought, I actually want to be out in the audience and watch this. And then they looked at me like, I was like, oh God, yeah, I've got to sing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great to be back doing it, you know.
And what's great to see is, like, certainly on the YouTube videos, you guys are having fun. When bands do have fun and smile, and, you know, you can see that they're enjoying themselves, it makes the audience like it even more, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you know, if we're not enjoying it, why on earth would anybody out front enjoy it, you know?
Right.
And, you know, and if we don't mean it, if we're not up there loving what we're doing and meaning it, if we're just going through the motion, then, you know, why would anybody else pick up on it? You know, it has to come from that stage. It has to come from us. It has to emanate so that the people in front get it, out front rather. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we do. We really do love it. I mean, even if any of us have fallen out in the tour bus, which is very rare these days. We used to when we were younger, when little trivial things would set us all off, you know. We'd always make up after about an hour or two, but, you know, there'd be a few squabbles because things were so important back then when we were young, and now it's just like, oh, you know, whatever. But now, even then, rather, well, once we got on that stage, we were always all smiling at each other. I don't think we've ever done a show where we haven't looked at each other and gone, yeah, that's it. You know, it works for us, you know. So the live playing is a big thing for us.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, just can't wait.
Well, Deborah, I appreciate you taking the time tonight. You know, I don't know how late it is where you are, but it's still a pleasure.
Well, it's not that late, and it's been lovely talking to you, Jason, and I hope we get over there and meet you at some point. It would be great to hook up. So Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
You keep on doing some promo videos. Canada loves it, so you just keep on doing great work.
Thank you so much. All right. Take care.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.